Hi, I'm Joanne, and I'm anxious. Maybe you cannot see it on my face, but I'm actually trying really hard to hide it. I'm anxious about everything in my life, including standing on the stage. I have been feeling anxious for months because of the TED Talk I have to do today. Although there are no audiences down the stage right now, there are just some cameras filming me, but I still feel anxious. Why? It's because I know this video is going to be posted on YouTube, and you guys are watching me right now. I have never delivered a speech in public in my entire life. And my first speech happened to be a TED Talk. TED Talk, this is TED Talk. I have watched many TED Talks on YouTube to learn some life principles and give myself some motivation. And some of my professors even use TED Talks as course materials. TED Talk is such a big deal to me. It is holy to me. I can never imagine one day I will actually be here on the stage and give a speech by myself. Actually, when I got the invitation for speaking on TEDx, I almost rejected it because even just thinking about myself being on the stage makes me anxious. I was anxious about every detail of TED Talk. Do I really deserve to be here? Can I really say something inspirational? Will I forget what I want to say on the stage? I always know I have a fear of speaking in public. I'm also anxious about it, if I'll ever overcome this fear. Maybe I will have no chance to overcome it if I reject this TED Talk invitation. This idea even made me even more anxious, and this anxiety grew so big and eventually pushed me on this stage. This is why I'm here today. This is what I would like to talk about. Anxiety pushes me to do things. Anxiety pushes me to improve and become a better person. Anxiety gives me motivation. Anxiety is my best friend. Before I tell you how to turn anxiety into a best friend, let me share another personal story with you. I've always had a dream of becoming an actress since I was little, but I know it's too hard to reach because we're in Taiwan and it's really hard. Maybe I will starve to death if I choose acting as my major in college and have no other skills at all. I thought I should study and have other skills first, then I can go after my dream of becoming an actress. In this way, at least I will not have to starve to death in the future. So I chose a major that I don't hate, which is applied linguistics and language studies. It is very different from acting, right? But I'm still kind of interested in this major. But it's still not my biggest dream. In my freshman year, I was feeling fine in the beginning. I put a lot of effort into study. The only thing I did was study because I thought if I received good grades and had good academic performance, I would feel happy. I actually did feel happy for a while and even forgot about my dream of becoming an actress. But there was a little voice shouting at me every day. It was my anxiety that was shouting at me. It kept telling me that I will never reach my dream. It told me that I will never feel happy. But I just ignored it and ran away. Then near the end of my freshman year, I became more and more anxious because the voice of anxiety became louder and louder. I felt like what anxiety had told me was coming true. I couldn't fall asleep at night. I became moody and couldn't stop crying. I felt so depressed that I didn't have the energy to do anything else. I couldn't stop thinking about how useless I was. All of these things happened because anxiety was yelling next to my ear and saying mean things to me. I couldn't stand it. So I asked my anxiety, Why do you have to say these horrible things to me? Finally, I found the answer. My anxiety was shouting so loud because I wasn't doing acting and I didn't listen to it in the first place. Then I knew I had to do something to fix it. I tried to find some ways for me to start my acting career. Then, one day, when I was scrolling through TikToks, I saw a girl's acting videos. This idea was so amazing to me. Filming TikTok by myself at home is a brilliant idea. I only need to use my free time. I don't have to spend time auditioning and try to fit the filming days into my already busy schedule. So I can still focus on my schoolwork and still receive good grades. I can study and film acting videos at the same time. This idea was so suitable for me. I was so lucky to find that girl's acting videos. Then I began to work. I started filming videos, mostly comedy videos and skits because I love them. I used the sounds from skits on TikTok or other sitcoms I watch like Friends or The Big Bang Theory. And I lip-synced to these sounds. It was like memorizing a script and saying lines when filming TV series or movies. And I got to do some research on acting too. I can try out and practice different facial expression and body language when I act. I put a lot of effort into filming these videos. Like a 20-second skit can take me 3 hours to film because I care so much about every details in the videos, including my acting and lip syncing. Although it was definitely hard work for me, I was genuinely happy because I was finally doing something that I actually loved the most. I was so passionate about it. Maybe it was because of my passion. I started gaining success really quickly. I got millions of views and millions of followers in just a few months. This gave me more motivation to act and even made some acting agencies contact me. I also get some audition opportunities. All of these happened because I communicated with my anxiety. I didn't run away from it. Instead, I tried to listen to what it actually wanted to tell me. Then it pushed me to do the things I love. It pushed me to reach my dream. It gave me motivation. Anxiety finally became my best friend. So, what did we learn from this story? That is, you can actually turn anxiety into a best friend. But most people consider anxiety a negative emotion. So did I. Everyone feels anxious about something at some point in their lives. I feel anxious all the time too. And we don't like this feeling, do we? We want to get rid of it, right? Throughout the years, I found it was too hard for me to get rid of anxiety completely. I tried so hard and in so many ways, anxiety is still there. Then I just gave up trying to get rid of it. Instead, I thought, if I have to live with it, why not use it? If you think deeper, you can find that anxiety can actually make you a better person. But how? Now, imagine anxiety is a person. It follows you around. Do you know why it follows you around? Like, you cannot get rid of it at all. Because anxiety is not an illness. Anxiety is just one of your emotions, like every other emotions as well. If you can accept other emotions and have a good relationship with them, why can't you accept anxiety? Anxiety is saying these mean things to you because you keep ignoring it. It used to be a little thought, like a little voice. You only felt slightly weird. But you didn't actually take care of this thought. Then this person, anxiety, became angrier and angrier because you kept ignoring it. Eventually, it turned into something that is too big and too severe so that you cannot handle it anymore. Just like a wound, if you take care of it, it will cure. If you ignore it, it will become worse and harder to deal with. Anxiety is a person that follows you around, just like I said. It is trying to give you some advice. It just doesn't know how to tell you this advice properly. It might tell you some bad things about yourself, but these are just its impulsive words. These words can be more hurtful if you keep ignoring anxiety. You need to fix your relationship with anxiety. You need to let this person, anxiety, know you are willing to talk to them. You need to listen to your anxiety before it turns into something horrible that you cannot deal with. Eventually, you can have a good relationship with your anxiety. Maybe it will become your best friend, like mine. Now, I'm going to teach you 3 steps so you can turn anxiety into a best friend. First of all, when you hear it's yelling, listen to it. Try to listen to it. It will be kind of hard at first, definitely. But if you run away, it will chase you because it has to follow you around. If you don't run away from it, there's nothing for you to be afraid of. Anxiety is just a common feeling that everyone has. You have to remember that. So, when you listen to your anxiety, you will hear some mean things, but that's fine. These words are not its true thoughts. Then here comes the second step. Communicate with it. You need to talk to your anxiety so you can find its true thoughts behind those horrible words. When it says you're not good enough, you have to ask where it thinks you're not good enough. When it says something bad will happen to you if you do this or if you do that, you need to ask why it thinks something bad will happen to you. After communicating with it, you can find the answer and the real advice it actually wants to tell you. And then, here comes the last step. Think about its advice and take some of it. When it gives you advice, you can have some specific things to work on. You might overcome some fears. You might find something for you to improve. You might have the courage to do something that you have never imagined before. And what would happen after doing these things? You will feel less anxious. Your anxiety is happy. This person is happy because you took its advice. You have improved and become a better person. Your anxiety will not bother you with negative thoughts, emotions, because there's nothing for it to complain about. But it's just temporary. After some time, it will still come back because it is still one of your feelings, right? You will never get rid of it, unfortunately. But you don't have to be afraid of it and run away from it. Because now you already have a healthy relationship of dealing with it in a healthy way. You already have a healthy relationship with anxiety, and you have the experience of dealing with anxiety in a healthy way. You only need to go through the 3 steps I just taught you again, if anxiety came again. Just listen to it before it gets worse. You can keep improving if you keep listening to its advice. Eventually, anxiety will become your best friend, just like mine. So, this is why I'm here today. Anxiety told me I have to come here to deliver a speech, or I will never overcome the fear of public speaking. It pushed me on this stage. It helped me improve. I'm not sure if my speech was perfect, but I'm sure about one thing. I'm not anxious about never overcoming my fear of public speaking anymore. I'm not anxious anymore because I took my anxiety's advice. It helped me improve and become better. Anxiety is my best friend, and I hope it will become your best friend too. Thank you.